Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Hey, folks, how's it going?
Perfect.
Fantastic, man.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
It's going perfect.
The man,
You guys,
the myth, the legend.
You know, you guys are starting to make history with showing up on 3 networks over the years.
Starting to make history.
You
I
know?
think it's unprecedented. I think we have made history, and thank you for acknowledging that.
You know, unlike Kelsey Grammer, where he appeared on, 2 shows, it's like, no, it's one show, same characters,
Crazy.
You know, you're about to be like what, top 10 longest characters on Black characters on TV?
Are we?
Should we?
Top 10
we
Black
should be. Wilson, should we?
Top 5. I'm trying to be a top 5.
Probably, just as Marcus said, put in her doing Law and Order.
Yeah.
I think Ice-T has the record. Because he put 22 years in Law and Order.
Okay, and then who's got the third spot?
I haven't done that work yet, but you guys have been on it for a minute.
We're 18 years. Wilson, we're 18 years in at this point now.
18 years in. So having said all that, we're getting a little bit of the past, as we watch this new season and filling in some of the blanks as far as what had transpired earlier on. And so coming back now, what are we getting with Tasha? Is she more vulnerable this season?
Is she more what?
Is she more emotionally unstable? Because she always seems like, she doesn't seem always happy. She's always on the grasp of something, but it's not fully happy yet.
Yeah, I feel like everything is beyond her grasp this season. And like you said, it was always in reach, but right now it's way beyond her grasp. And you're going to see her fighting for the fight of her life, because she has tied so many things, not only to her agency, but to her son and to all of the external elements. Now, what happens in the possibility that all of those are gone? Who is she at the core? And I really love that, because it's an unraveling and getting to know who she is and her discovering who she is as well. So yeah, you'll see the vulnerability, and you'll see the drama, you'll see the comedy, and you'll see who she is. She's reverted to that little girl all the way back to Richmond. And, in a good way. I mean, she's still got her thing, but you're going to see her fight forward and back.
How about you, Hosea? Obviously, your character had his ups and downs. You never know if he's a team player or not. What are we getting this season?
You know what? Malik has done a really good job of being a one-man show for 17 years. He has spent much of his life being a selfish man in so many ways. And a lot of us men are, until we don't have to be anymore. So this season 2/17, is where we get to see him actually doing some things for people other than himself. And we get to see him mature in a way, in this whole way, that you get to see more of who he is and his character as a man. And I think people will be pleased with his growth in that area.
What's it like knowing to be on this show, and it's the show that never dies? It's come back and come back and come back. And you two guys are the mainstay, to keep it going, because when you bring in new characters, there's no interest. But when you guys are the centerpiece, that brings the old back to the new. So knowing that, when you do outside of projects, this is the one project that people know you for. Wendy?
Wow. So what I'm trying to get to...
The question is like, knowing that this is the one character, even though you guys have done other projects, what's it like knowing this is the one character that people have watched over the years, and this is the one that continue to watch?
Wow. Yeah, I embrace it, and it's really funny you ask that, because a lot of times I'll get fans that are like, they only know me from, oh, that's Regina, or they only know me from, oh, Tasha. So the fact that we invite people into our lives through their living room or through their devices, they get to know us and they feel like they know us. I think it's gracious. And it took me a while to really believe that and to receive that. I asked for this. I asked to be your Tasha Mack, and as many times as we have done the show. So I take it as an honor, and to make sure that the choices that I make with this woman are truly reflective and have the artistic integrity as well as the authenticness that they need to have, as I represent not only Black women, but just women in general. that are just going through something. So I embrace it. I love it. It's so humbling. Humbling.
And after playing a character for so long, what are you a little bit like Malik in any way? You know, like what are the similarities after all these years?
I am Wilson. I'm a lot like Malik. In the past 2 years, the past 2 seasons have driven that home for me more than any other time in this character. Early on, I thought that I didn't have much in common with Malik. I was like, oh, well, you know, single mom, you know, had me when I was young. So that's kind of the synergy. He's not, you know, I'm a loving, loyal, kind-hearted man. I'd like to think of myself God-fearing and all those things, and complete opposite of Malik in so many ways. But the past 2 seasons, starting with last season, Wilson, was the very first time I realized that Malik and I, our lives have interlocked in a way that on the page and off the page, he represents so much of myself and I represent so much of him. So there is a fabric of my personality and his that's woven together. So yeah, we are almost the same in so many ways now. And I'm really happy to know that about myself and my character. Yeah.
You know, all we know is that no matter where the show goes or how long it goes, you guys are always going to be there. So you guys are the stable and the glue that keeps us watching it. So keep making it happen. I will see you somewhere. We'll talk season 3. Keep it going.
Wilson. It's Wakanda game forever.
Take care, folks.
Thank you, Wilson.
Wilson Morales from Black Film and TV. How's it going, folks?
Doesn't need no introduction, Mr.
It's
Wilson.
So nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I feel wow.
Thank you so much for all you do. Really, I can't tell you how many times this just made my heart so full to see you post that I booked a role and what the show is doing and things like that, and like helping it spread word to the community. I really appreciate it. Thank you. This is an honor.
It's all about visibility and making sure people know, giving them the option that what you guys are doing, and hopefully they'll check it out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for everything that you post, man. Like, you made me aware of projects I had no idea was even in the works. So thank you. Thank you.
We're back. Season 2, job stability.
Here we go.
So you never know what the game is. You know, the one thing is the show has been so well loved. It's been around 3 channels, you know, 2 decades, you know, and it still keeps going. So like coming back now, obviously, without giving so much away, what are we getting from your characters as we go into the present and the past? Vaughn?
Oh, what are we getting with the characters? We will definitely get some insight into Jamison's past, what exactly happened, how things went down, you know, with Allison and, you know, him going to jail and what that really meant for him. And honestly, the effect that his past has on his present with not only his relationship with Brittany, not only his relationship with Brittany, but also what he's willing to do to achieve his dream of playing in the league. We get some insight into like what that really meant for him back then. And now that he has opportunity to do it, what he will go to and what he will do to achieve that, you know, and that might mean hurting some people and might also mean securing positions for himself.
What about Brittany's character? I mean, what about your character, Brittany? Where are we with her? I always feel like she's still trying to find herself, but she knows what she's doing. It just takes her a little time to get there.
I think she's stumbling through it, and then she wakes up and opens her eyes and like, oh, that worked. I think that Brittany is truly finding herself, and also at the same time, she's learning what it feels like to find her voice, learning what it feels like to be a true friend, learning what it feels like to be a supportive partner. And she's navigating through those things while also putting her needs first, not just what she thinks her dad wants or her mom wants, but figuring out what Brittany wants and what will make Brittany happy. And also, to speak to what Vaughn said about figuring out what you will or won't do, how bad you want it, what she's willing to sacrifice in the midst of making her career what she wants it to be. She's always been a career-driven woman. She's always was inspired by Tasha Mack. So just figuring out what exactly will she sacrifice, what exactly will she not do at all for her career. That's a big part of her journey.
Now that the show's in its 2nd season, how much more awareness are you of the game itself? You know, especially when you look this season and they're going through the strike, you know, are you guys athletes? You know, do you guys follow the game that when you see it happening, whether it be football or baseball, anywhere else, do you have an idea as to what they're going through, knowing you're kind of playing these characters on and off the screen? Vaughn?
I will say that the strike really kind of put things into perspective for me as far as how important it is for healthcare for these athletes. You know, we look at, you know, the concussion issues, the CTE things, a lot of injuries that have come up and really altered these players' lives, you know, past, present, and former players. Like, you know, I think the show has really put into perspective for me how important it is to take care of these players' health. And even though we'll see in the season how Jamison may or may not be a fan of that, it's an important issue. And so when things like that come up in sports today, I try to be attuned to it. I'm a huge UFC fan. So when they're talking about the health of those athletes and, you know, the decisions that they're making behind the scenes to better the lives of these athletes, I pay attention to it now because I can relate to it.
Before I have to let you go, are we going to see Brittany's parents?
Yes, you will. You'll see at least one of them.
You know, you guys are doing such a great job. Obviously, you know, the more it can keep going on, the more the fan base comes back, you know, because you never know with the first season, you never know if it's going to be one and done. But now that we're season 2, you know, you get a whole new base of fans that can even probably go back to start watching season 1 to get an insight as to where your characters are, old and new. So congrats again. We'll talk season 3. Have a good one.
Thank you, Wilson. Have a good one.
Wilson Morales, Black Women TV. How's it going, folks? How's it going?
We're fantastic. Great to see you.
It's always good to know you're coming back for season 2, job stability, you know, no more pilots for now. So, but here we are. Obviously, you know, from what I've seen so far, we're dwelling into the past a little bit. So for Toby, coming into your character, what are we seeing this year as far as the strike going on and where his character is going?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, the episode 1, we start off with the dreadlocks, you know, so yeah, there's a nice little throwback and that's obviously wonderful and it's a lot of fun. But we get to see that, you know, even in his quote unquote perfect life, that there's cracks in it and his family isn't as perfect as it seems, and how he deals with that during the strike, which, you know, creates a void with him.
Mm-hmm. And Analisa, are we going to get to see you sing more?
Yes, baby. You're going to hear me sing. You're going to hear me rap a little, which I'm super excited. You might even see me dance. I don't know. It's going to get crazy.
You know, you guys play a couple on the show. Obviously, you know, when you have a series like this and knowing the series as a whole, nothing stays forever.
Yeah.
You know, sooner or later, there's going to be some cracks and layers into this relationship, but are we going to look more into this relationship before anything happens, or is it just going to be something different per episode? Toby?
Well, I think both can happen at the same time. You know, since Garret's on strike and his professional career is at a standstill, all of a sudden, where does that energy go? And you know, he's definitely put love into Raquel. And as Raquel starts to blossom, you know, how does that shape the relationship? Because now there's a dynamic shift within the two.
So we're gonna get a little Stars Born type of situation.
Maybe.
A little ego.
You know, but being that the show is obviously set on football, and as we're entering the football season, how much of awareness do you have now regarding the sport? You know, because sometimes, you know, the first season is a job. You know, you guys are new to the show, but now that you're back on it, you know, and you see what's going on with the strike, when you see how this plays out in other sports besides football, do you have a new connection to it? Because even though you're playing characters, you get to see what they're going through. Toby?
Well, I've always loved sports, and I've always loved American football. Go Eagles, fly Eagles, fly. But, you know, certainly like playing Garret Evans, it certainly makes me look at it in a different way, because I was watching it as a spectator, but all of a sudden as an actor, now I have to really try to understand what it would be like. And what are some of the tribulations that players are going through here in America. So it does make me have, I guess, a three-dimensional view on that sport in particular.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Raquel, obviously, you were the new face coming in, and now people get to know who you are. And the thing about this show is that now that went to season 2, people know it's going to stick around, and so it gives them a chance to go back to season 1 of this particular on this channel and look at all the seasons just to get a better connection. So what has this done for you so far, knowing that here you have a character in season 2, so now it's becoming the mainstay?
I don't know. I guess I'm happy that I'm here. Like she's not going nowhere. It's not like one of those side characters like, oh, she sings in one episode and she's gonna be gone for 6. No, like I'm gonna be in all 10 out of 10 for season 3. Yeah.
And as you do the show, obviously, there's different directors, but what do you pick up as actors, when you're doing this show, that when you're on hiatus, you get to, and you go on to do other projects, that you take something from this show? Is there anything you're picking up that helps your skill set?
Oh, absolutely. Being on this job, you have to be so quick on your toes when you're working with, a Wendy Raquel Robinson. I actually love working with her. Any scene that I'm in, she actually does this when we're rolling. This is what a take is like. This is what but working with someone like Wendy or even Hosea, you have to be such on your toes, because they're going to throw things at you, and that's what's exciting about working with them. And you get to take that onto other projects, and you're just quickly firing. You've got all these lines coming up, all these impulses, and you just work off them.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Analisa? I was about to say, right?
It's okay. I get confused sometimes. Honestly, the work ethic that has to go into play Raquel, specifically music-wise, now when I go into the studio, because I also make music, now when I go into the studio, I'm like, well, now you know better. Now you know what it's like to have a vocal producer. Now you know what your vocals should sound like and how the entire body of a song should feel and sound like. So yeah, I've definitely taken it into my next projects, and then also watching our showrunner and the directors and the writers, because I want to create my own work as well. So I'm just like, I'm sitting there on set, even when I'm not on set. I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Okay, so that's all right. So I'm just kind of like a sponge, taking it all in.
Congrats for coming back, season 2. Keep making it happen. We'll talk again, season 3. If not, I'll see you somewhere, whether it be New York or LA.
All right.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Wilson.
Bye.